Hi, fifth grade. You'll kind of have to excuse me again today. My throat is feeling better, but my voice is still not great. So I might do a little bit of coughing. Just hang in there with me, and we will get through it the best we can today. Today we are doing lesson 7.5, and it is over the coordinate plane. And this is something new that we have not covered yet. So very important that you watch the video and pay attention so that you can do a good job on your assignment. Before we get into the examples that we need to work on, there are some words over here that we need to know. We have to know what these words are in order to be able to read the directions and do what they're asking us to do. So the first word is called the coordinate plane. This whole graph is called the coordinate plane. So when we see this little graph where we're going to be graphing some things, this whole thing is called the coordinate plane. We also have the origin. And the origin is down here at 0. Origin means you start at 0 down here in the very bottom corner. So that's the origin. We have the x-axis, which is along the bottom. So you'll see an x over here. This is called the x-axis. So these numbers that go along the bottom are for the x-axis. And then just like that, we have the y-axis, which goes along the side, up and down, and that's labeled right here with a y. So x-axis goes across, y-axis goes up and down. We also have what's called an ordered pair or coordinates, and we'll get to those two here in just a second as we do this first set of examples down here. So coordinate plane is the whole thing. We have the origin, which is at 0. Then we have the x-axis going across and the y-axis going up and down. Let's use this coordinate plane and those vocabulary terms to help us do numbers 1 through 4 to start out. It says, write an ordered pair to represent the location of each point. So number 1 says point M. So I have to find point M, which is right here on my graph, and I have to give an ordered pair. It's kind of like I'm giving directions for how someone would get there, almost. Okay, we always give the x number first. That's called the x coordinate. So I'm going to go along the x and I'm going to look. Where is M along the x? Well, it is at 6 because when I get to 6, if I go straight up, that's the M. So my x-axis number would be 6. I write that down first. Then I look along the y-axis and I see what number it is for y. Well, when I get to y5, that is where M is at. So I put a comma and a 5. Then anytime I'm giving an ordered pair, I use parentheses around it. So point M is at 6, 5. We would know to go over to 6 on the x and up to 5, and that is where we would find point M. This is called an ordered pair. It's a pair of numbers that tells me where that point is at. And it's also called the coordinates because this is the coordinate plane and the coordinates tell me where I'm at on that coordinate plane. Now, when we're giving ordered pairs or we're telling the coordinates of a point, we always, always, always put x first and then y. Just like in the alphabet, x comes before y. So we always do across the x-axis first and then up the y-axis. So we always list x and then we list y. Let's try again on point C. So finding point C, I first need my x coordinate. So I'm going to go along the x and look for the number. It would be 9. So I'm going to put a 9. I'm going to go ahead and put my parentheses because I know I need them for an ordered pair, comma. And then I need my y coordinate. So still on point C, my y coordinate is a 10. So point C is at 9, 10. I would go across 9 and up 10, and that's how I would get there. All right, number 3 is point N. So I'm going to find point N. So it's kind of tricky. It's way down here. I know my x coordinate has to come first because remember, x comes before y in the alphabet. That's how you remember. So my x number would be a 5. And then put my comma. And my y number would be a 0. It's not up at all, so it's just going to be a 0. It's at 0 going up and down. So 5, 0 would be for point N. Let's do one more to make sure we've got it. Point B. So find point B. Remember, first we have to do the x-axis, so going across, it is 3 on the x, and then I need to look on my y-axis. It is also 3 on the y. So point B is at 3, 3. That would be its ordered pair or its coordinates. All right, just like we can take those points and we can write the ordered pairs for them by looking at them, we can also plot those points on the graph. So here they're going to give me a coordinate plane that is blank, and they want me to put these points on to the coordinate plane. So let's go ahead and start with number 5. It says point J at 5, 4. Remember, these go x, y. So first it gives me my x coordinate and then my y. So I know I need to go across 5 and then up 4. So I would put my point right there. And then I have to label my point so that I know which one it is. It said this needs to be point J. That needs to be a capital letter. We always use capital letters for points on a graph. So that is point J. Then I like to put a little check mark by it so that I know, hey, I have that one done. Now I'm ready to go on to the next one. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to tell which ones you've already done. Number 6 says point Q at 1, 9. Remember, my x coordinate comes first, so I'm going to go across to 1 and then up to 9. So right here, put my point. Notice I make my points pretty thick so they're easy to see. And then I'm going to label it with a capital Q, just like that. And check mark it off because that one's done. It does not matter where your uppercase letter is at. It just has to be close to the point. So you'll notice on J, I put it over here, but on Q, I put it over here. It doesn't matter as long as it's close to the point so that I can tell it goes with that one. All right, number 7, point W at 0, 4. So remember, x coordinates come first. So I'm going to stay at 0. It's pretty easy, so just stay there. And then y coordinate says go up 4 on my y-axis. So right there, put my point, and we need to label it with a W. Remember, capital letters somewhere near the point so that I know it goes with that one. I check it off so I know that it's done. We have one more point to plot here. Point R as at 8, 3. So my x coordinate is first, so I need to go across the x-axis to 8, and then up the y-axis to 3. So that would be right here. Making my point nice and thick so you can tell. And it is point R. Go ahead and label it with an R. Remember, capital on those. And check it off. I have all 4 of those points plotted. So I can use points that are already plotted, and I can give their coordinates or the ordered pair to tell where they're at on the coordinate plane. Or I can be given a blank coordinate plane, and I can use these coordinates that they give me or this ordered pair to plot the points that they want me to put onto the coordinate plane or the graph. We can do it both ways. A little bit more of something that I want to show you, so let me flip to my next page in my notes here. Let's start up here with number 9. It says, plot a point at 1, 10. Label the point A. All right, so remember, this goes X, Y. X always comes before Y, even in the alphabet. So my X coordinate is a 1. My Y coordinate is a 10. So I'm going to mark that point right there. And then I have to label my point. This one said label it point A. So I'm going to put an A by it. And then I like to check it off just so I know I already did that one. Then let's go on to the next one. Plot a point at 1, 7. Label the point B. All right, so my X coordinate is a 1, and then Y coordinate is a 7. So 1, 7 is point B. So get my capital letter there. Check it off. The next one says, plot a point at 8, 10. Label the point C. So my X coordinate is 8 across, and then my Y coordinate is 10 going up. And they said label that point C, so capital C on that. Check it off because I have it done. Lastly, plot a point at 8, 7. Label the point D. So 8 is my X coordinate, 7 is my Y coordinate. Put my point, label it D. That's the letter that it gave me. And check it off because that one is done. Then it says, connect the points to form a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral just means a 4-sided shape. So I'm going to connect these points. This actually makes a rectangle, so connect those. We don't need a ruler, just get them as straight as you can, kind of follow along with those lines right there on the graph. there is my rectangle. All right, that's what it wanted me to do for number 9, so that was easy enough there. Number 10 says, let me scooch it down a little bit so that you can see. Explain how subtraction can be used to find the lengths of the line segments AB and AC. Okay, so first they want us to look at line segment AB. I'm going to write that down here so that I know I'm looking at line segment AB. And that means I just find the points A and B and the line that connects them. So AB would be this line right here because it's connecting point A and point B. Now they want me to tell how long that line is using subtraction. Well, look, if I look on my x-axis, they're both at number 1. So that doesn't help me. But if I look at my y numbers, I have a 10 and a 7. So I'm just going to subtract my big number from my small number to see how long that line is. So 10 is my bigger number, minus 7 is the other number, which is 3. And then for our label, we don't know if this is inches, feet, miles, any of that. So when we don't know the label, we just use units. So AB is 3 units long. I could double check my answer by counting the boxes between A and B. There's 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes. So that is correct. It is 3 units long. They would like for us to do the same thing with AC. I'm going to write AC here so that I can show my work by that. It's always good to show your work by it so I know which one it is. And then I'm going to find points A and C and the line that connects them, which would be right here. Then remember, we have to use subtraction to prove how long it is. So if I'm looking on the Y, they're both at 10, so that doesn't help me. So this time I need to look at the X numbers because those are the ones that are different. So C is at 8, so I do 8, minus, and A is at 1. So 8 minus 1 would be 7. And then remember, I need a label, but we don't know inches, feet, all of that, so we just use units. Line AC is 7 units long. If I wanted to double check, I could count the boxes between those points, remember? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is indeed 7 units long. They just want us to show it using subtraction because that's how we prove how long that line is. All right, to finish us up here, I want to do a little vocabulary review just so that we can make sure we remember each of these words that we have talked about today. Lots of words, but none of them are too hard. We just need to make sure we remember what is what so that we can talk about coordinate planes correctly. Our first word was coordinate plane. Remember, the coordinate plane is this whole graph. This is called the coordinate plane, the whole thing. Then we talked about the origin. Think about origin, remember, is at the 0. I think about origin, O. That goes together. So 0 is this point down here. That's called the origin. Then we have the x-axis, which remember is along the bottom. The x is along the bottom. Here's the x-axis. And then we have the y-axis, which goes up and down. So x-axis goes across, y-axis goes up and down. And then remember, ordered pair and coordinates mean the same thing. They go together. An ordered pair or the coordinates tells me where a point is on the graph. So like 1, 10 is an ordered pair, or those are the coordinates. This is the x coordinate. It tells me where to go on the x part of the graph. And then this is the y coordinate, which tells me where to go for the y part of the graph. So all of those words are super duper important as we continue talking about coordinate planes and using them to graph. Go ahead and start on your assignment. Do the very best you can. I'll talk to you later. Bye.